Hola! Today we're going to work with the diminutives. Okay, this is actually something that's pretty simple and that you've probably seen before. This is a type of suffix. Okay, so a type of suffix. And the one we're working with today in particular is the suffix ito. Okay, the suffix ito is extremely common. It's actually used to make a word refer to something that is smaller or to show affection. Okay, an example of this in English would be like, my little brother, or my dear grandma. Okay, so the examples that you have are actually hermano, and then using the suffix to show that something is smaller, in this case, a little brother, a younger brother, it becomes hermanito. So instead of continually saying like my younger brother, so mi hermano menor, you can just say mi hermanito. It already implies that it's your little brother. Or we have abuelas, so grandmothers. If I change it to abuelitas, it takes on an affection type of meaning. So my dear grandmas, my dear grandmother, abuelita. Okay, las reglas, or the rules. There are general rules with using this suffix ito. Okay, you do need to be aware of the singular, the plural, the masculine, the feminine, because the ito can also be ita, or it could be itos, or it could be itas, depending on if your word is singular or plural or masculine or feminine. Okay, your first rule, and this is if your noun is ending in a vowel. The ones that you're super familiar with seeing are the ones that are ending in O or A. Okay, por ejemplo, we have perro, and all you do is that you replace the O or the A with the suffix ito. So per, and because it's a masculine singular word, we're going to end it with ito instead of ita or itos or itas, okay? The next ending that it could possibly has if a word ends in cito, okay? Now, cito is just another form of ito, and we actually add a cito if a word ends in an e, okay? So we have the types of endings that are for words ending in an O or an A, or we have endings that end in an E, and all we do is add cito. Okay, so the example that you have in front of you is a guante, or a glove, one of your new vocab words. And because it ends in an E, all we need to do is add cito. Okay, be careful with this one because this word happens to be masculine and singular, so it will take cito, but we can also have the variety of cito, citas, citos, or citas, okay? So it depends on if that word is masculine, feminine, singular, or plural. Okay, so we would actually say guantecitos if it were little gloves. Okay, the next part of the rule, and this goes for words that end in a consonant. This one's actually pretty easy. So anywhere that ends in a consonant, you add your variation of cito. Okay? Your example you have is collar, also a new vocab word, so necklace. So to refer to a little necklace, collarcito, because it's a masculine singular noun. Okay, now the problem with this, and with rules in general, is that there are always exceptions, okay? Some of the exceptions are just variations between different countries and what they prefer to use. Some of them are just some irregular ones. One in particular I wanted to point out is that if a word ends in co, it actually becomes a q. So poco, which means a little, poquito is a little bit. You guys have actually seen this one before. So the ending is quite a bit different, okay? And there are a ton of these. Do I expect you to memorize every single one of them? No. But I expect you to be familiar with them. A couple other variations that you, once again, don't need to know, but you need to understand that this could change from country to country. There are the endings illo, huelo, or ico. So regalo, would normally be a regalito, but in some places you are going to see it as regalillo. So just a different ending. Okay, or an hijo could be an hijuelo. Also another ending that you wouldn't be familiar with. You would normally see hijito. Or we have zapato. Okay, a different ending for this one would be zapatico. Okay, so those are just some strange endings that you might come across. Just be familiar with them. I'd rather you absolutely know the ito, the ita, the itos, or the itas. That's the most important one right now. Okay, we have some practica down at the bottom. You are going to change each sentence to form the diminutive of the underlined words, okay? So all of these sentences have one, most of them have two. So our example here, hay un gato en la casa. So I'm going to rewrite my sentence. So instead of saying there's a cat in the house, I want to say there's a little cat in the house. Because this particular noun ends in an O, I'm going to follow my rule by taking off of the O and then adding the correct ending. Ito, ita, itos, or itas. Now, this particular word is masculine and singular, so I'm going to add what? I am going to add ito. So gatito. Hay un gatito en la casa. There's a little cat in the house. Okay, what I would like you guys to do is do numbers 1 through 6 for homework. Follow the regular rules, okay? So take a look. Does the word end in a vowel, or does it end in a consonant? Does it end in an E? Okay, so take a look at what the singular form would be, okay, before you do that. And then decide which ending you need. Okay, for example, for the first one here we have primas. Primas, although it ends in an S, it ends in a consonant, its normal ending would be an A. Okay, so that one would just use the regular endings. Okay, so finish those up for homework. We will go over them, make sure you have them right. Adios.